And when we research across the innovation value chain, we come across three broad categories of companies, three broad categories of innovation beneficiary, and those are pioneer, enablers, and adopters of innovation. And so, respectively, those are the creators of innovation, then those companies that support them, so those that enable the innovation with tools and services, and then finally the lateral beneficiaries of innovation, so those that apply the innovation to their businesses once it's more mature. And so this approach helps us broaden our opportunity set. It helps us identify the optimal risk and reward, and it aids in portfolio diversification. And that's really best illustrated with an example. And this is a snapshot of our advanced testing and diagnostics innovation frontier from when we first launched the fund. And so think of this frontier like COVID-19 testing, but for every disease and also your health status. And when we started analyzing the innovation value chain, we found that one pioneer, Illumina in this case, had more than any other company really driven forward DNA sequencing and its progress over the last 2 decades. So over the last 20 years, the cost of sequencing a human genome has gone from more than $13 billion down to just $500. And that's caused an explosion in diagnostic testing. But then if you go across the innovation value chain, you come into enablers in this frontier. So those are companies like QIAGEN, and they provide consumables for preparing patient samples ready for testing and provide software to analyze the test results. And in fact, QIAGEN is a global leader in these two areas. Then in the adopter camp, you have companies like LabCorp. They have vast testing networks, and importantly, they have access to doctors and patients and testing locations. So really, they own the channel to the end user, and they can create very sticky customer relationships because of their network. So that when a customer thinks of testing, they automatically think of LabCorp. And so when we first looked at this frontier, Illumina was, the leading pioneer, but it had a single technology risk and it had a very high valuation, while the enablers and the adopters had much more diversified business models and more attractive valuations. And we chose them over as our holdings over the pioneer. And both LabCorp and QIAGEN have significantly outperformed Illumina since fund launch. And this helps illustrate kind of the key advantage of our pioneer, enabler, and adopter approach at the portfolio level, because it helps us have a more balanced approach through the cycle. So when pioneers are too expensive, in this case, we can find enablers and adopters and pivot back once those pioneers are less in favor.